25. The Statement Sent to Mount Hiei by Genku. I have long wandered in the delusive three realms of transmigration. In which realm was I abiding, preventing me from encountering the emergence of Buddha Sakyamuni? In which of the four modes of birth, in the delusive worlds of transmigration, was I abiding, preventing me from listening to the sermons of Tathagata Sakyamuni? I was not present when Buddha Sakyamuni preached the Flower Garland Sutra, not present at the assembly where he delivered his discourse on the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, not present to hear his sermon on Vulture Peak, and not present at the Crane Forest on the occasion of Buddha Sakyamuni's entrance into Parinirvana. Could I have been born in a house of Shravasti where lived the 300 million people who were unaware of even the name of Buddha Sakyamuni? Or could I have been at the bottom of one of the 8 hot hells? I am overcome with regret. This is indeed grievous. Now, then, I have wandered for innumerable eons and have finally received life in the world as a human being, a state extremely difficult to realize. After myriad eons, I have fortunately encountered the precious teaching of Buddha Sakyamuni. Though it is lamentable, I did not have the opportunity to meet Buddha Sakyamuni during his lifetime. I am profoundly grateful to exist as a man during an era when his teachings proliferate. It is as if a blind turtle were to find the hole in a piece of driftwood afloat on the ocean. The spread of Buddhism in this country began with its introduction on the first day of the 10th month in the winter of the 13th year of the Monkey and Water, 552 CE, during the reign of Emperor Kinmei. Before this, in this country, neither the teachings of Tathagata Sakyamuni nor listening to the way of enlightenment existed. By whatever residual karmic causes, by whatever virtuous deeds we have accumulated in a previous existence, we have been born in a world where the teaching of Buddha Sakyamuni prevail, and we are able to listen to the way of enlightenment out of the delusive worlds of samsara. We have now had the good fortune to experience a precious encounter with the teachings of Buddha Sakyamuni. To continue to live in idleness without embracing his teachings would be lamentable indeed. Some waste away long spring days just staring at splendid flowers in the golden glen. Some while away long autumn nights, gazing at the beautiful harvest moon visible from the southern mansion. The years fly by for others who spend time in pursuit of food on cloud-covered mountains. Still, others float on the ocean, looking for bounties of the deep. Some live through crushing ice in the severe winter, while others toil for gainful living by the sweat of their brows. Some are encumbered by the ties of affection for wives, children, and relatives, and find it too difficult to cut the attachment, while others are unable to rid themselves of the fire of anger for those who have wronged them. Thus goes the life of people, dawn to dusk, day and night, whether they are walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. They exist for themselves, and their desires accumulate undesirable karma, which will with certainty lead them to the 3 lower realms and the 8 difficult conditions in their future lives. Therefore, a sutra describes 840 million delusive thoughts arise every single day in the heart of man, and each of these thoughts is the karma that will condemn him to the 3 lower realms. Thus did night fall yesterday, and so, purposeless, the morning dawns today. How many more empty days and nights await us? The petals of the beautiful flower that blooms in the morning are lightly scattered by the breeze of nightfall. Dewdrops of the evening disappear in the light of the morning sun. Unaware of the impermanence of life, man always seeks to prosper. Unaware of the frailty of life, man hopes for longevity. However, once the wind of impermanence blows, life disappears permanently, as if it were a dewdrop. Man's mortal body is left in the wilderness, and his spirit is sent to some distant mountaintop. Eventually, moss gathers over the dead body, while the spirit continues to wander alone in the sky. The wives, children, and relatives who remain in the home do not accompany him, and his storehouse, filled with the 7 kinds of precious jewels and 10,000 treasures, are of no avail. He takes with him only bitter tears of regret. In time, this man appears before the judgment seat of King Yama, the Lord of the realm of the dead, who evaluates the degree of guilt and the karma of the departed and determines their future. The king asks, having been born in a world where the teachings of Buddha Sakyamuni prevailed, why did you come back without having practiced them? How can we respond? I implore you here and now to embark upon your search for the way to deliverance from the delusive worlds. Never return to the 3 lower realms. In the various teachings of Buddha Sakyamuni, there are exoteric and esoteric teachings, Mahayana Buddhism and Hinayana Buddhism, the expedient and true teachings. and many commentaries. And many commentaries. Buddhism was divided into 8 schools in Japan, the teachings of which are quite diverse. One school teaches the emptiness of all existence. Another clarifies the essence of the ultimate reality of all phenomena. Another establishes the theory of the 5 distinctive natures of sentient beings based on their capabilities. Yet another discusses the fact that all sentient beings innately possess Buddha nature. Every school argues the superiority of its doctrines, asserting that its doctrines are profound and right. Undoubtedly, these are all true teachings expounded in sutras and commentaries. These are the golden words of the Tathagata Sakyamuni. Buddha Sakyamuni delivered his teachings in accordance with the potential and circumstances of the people. Therefore, it would be impossible to determine which is shallow or which is profound. That is his teaching, and this is also his teaching. One must not be obsessed by the teaching of one or another. Consequently, practicing according to the interpretation of any school will result in total extrication from the delusive worlds of samsara. Practicing according to the teaching of each school will equally enable you to realize enlightenment. To be critical of other schools and to argue about advantages and disadvantages without practicing their teachings is like the sightless debating shades of color or the hearing impaired debating voice quality. Hence, one should practice the teaching of the school in which one believes. The teaching of every school paves the way to detachment of the delusive worlds of samsara. In recent times, however, students of one school are envious of another school. Students tout one sutra over another. For this reason, the unschooled becomes doubtful, uncertain which teaching he should believe. Those with minimal aptitude become confused. One gets embroiled in disputes with other schools when one embraces the teachings of a particular school, hoping to accumulate merit. On the other hand, if one attempts to study a broad spectrum of the teachings of various schools, one's lifetime will be too short. It is said that there is an elixir of life in the 3 divine mountains in China, called Mount Panglai, Mount Fanchan, and Mount Jingchao. One may wish to take this elixir and extend one's life in order to learn the teachings of all the schools in turn.